Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's November 22nd, and we're going to do a little update on our papaya from seeds. Okay, here's our papayas. We've taken out one tray. The germination rate on these was just a little over 83%. So we had a good germination. We had a few that either died or didn't come up. But for me, and especially being I don't need that many papayas, that's a pretty good germination rate. Now, what I'm going to do, these are a little over a month old, and it's time to pot these up. So let's get these things in some bigger pots. Okay, as always, if you hear a bunch of background noise, it's my freeze dryer running. And now you can see on here these roots starting to come out the bottom. Now this one has some too, but I've kind of loosened it up. But you see how these things are starting to get good roots on them. That's the time to pot them up. All we're going to do, we've got some mix that we mixed up. This is actually the same mix that they were originally grown in. You can use a potting mix if you want, or whatever, once you start doing them up. Now I'm putting them in these bigger pots, give them plenty of room to stretch out. And like I say, we're just putting them in there. We'll push them down, and then we'll water them in. Now, I like to, when I mix this up, I always add some pelleted chicken litter, which is a 333, a good bit of it. I'll put just a little bit of lime in here so they'll have calcium. Calcium is important. And I add some azomite in case there's some trace minerals that's lacking, so they'll have them. And it's just a matter, I'm going to pick out the best ones. I'm not going to need all these, but I do plan to plant up 40 of these. And I'll probably end up keeping about probably a half a dozen. But as you can see, this wasn't a big chore getting these started from seeds. They have a good germination rate on them. There's not any big thing to pot them up. I make me a little tool here. It's just a piece of wood that I've tapered down the edges of it, so it kind of mimics more of my the shape of the cell tray. Now these are a little bit smaller. We're not going to use them. We'll pick out another one that's got some bigger, better looking ones. We're going to put in actually the best ones out of the bunch. They are looking a little bit rough. We did have some cool weather. I did close the greenhouse for one night. It was in the mid 30s. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a fungus issue on them and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and plant these. We'll go ahead and spray them with some neem oil. That way, if it is a fungus, that should take care of it. And we'll get these all moved up to a bigger home. I'm sure they're going to enjoy being out of this cell tray. I normally, and a good sign of when to pot up is when you start seeing roots coming out the bottom of your cell tray. That's normally the time to take these out and move them on up. Now, some of these won't be happy because they'll probably end up getting composted. But that's just what happens when you plant a whole bunch of extra seed. But to ensure that I have enough of what I want, I definitely want to plant plenty of seed so I get a good germination. Now I do have in some of these, I have where I accidentally put 2 seeds. These seeds were black, and it was really hard to tell uh, if a seed was in the spot. I don't know, like some of the germination problems. You might go back and look at the video, and I'll try to link it up above here somewhere where I planted these. But I think I actually missed uh, maybe a few holes because the seeds are slick, and when I come back to deal with them as far as putting them in the next cell, I probably wasn't focused enough and missed a few. So they could have had a better germination rate if I had taken care of business, because the ones that had 2 were probably uh, where I'd skipped another one and ended up putting 2, because these seeds were definitely kind of slick. But anyway, that's it. All I got to do now is water these in, uh, and and what I might do, this one here with this little bit of leaf spot, I might go ahead and pull this out and put another one. I have plenty of them to go in there, and there's no need to worry about that, or I could just take the leaves off. But anyway, there's the update. They're doing good. A lot of times I end up getting questions on where I plant something, and I don't actually do a separate update video. A lot of times I just do it during a garden update. But I figured I'd take the time to make a separate video of these, show you this next stage. Now, this is not the perfect time for most people to be planting papayas. Uh, they don't like freezing weather, but I will give these some protection so I can have like a nice big plant. Hopefully, in a couple of months, these will be ready to go ahead and move up to 1-gallon pots. And by springtime, I ought to have good size. So it'll give me a better chance of getting fruit that first year. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell, select all. And of course, give it a big thumbs up and share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.